Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven pressed pause for you. The angels, those blazing messengers who run with fire and stand before the throne, stop to watch the very story of your life unfold. Every hidden battle, every night you whispered prayers into the silence, was not lost in the wind. It was not wasted. It shook eternity in ways you cannot imagine. What you thought no one noticed has been recorded in heaven. You walked through storms no one clapped for, carried weights no one praised you for. Yet the heavens paused. You must understand this. You are not like the rest. You have never been ordinary. You have never been overlooked by heaven. The rejection of people could never cancel the choosing of God. The eyes of men saw failure, but the eyes of angels saw courage. You tried to hide your tears, but the angels leaned close to see them, for they knew those tears were not weakness, but the proof of a heart still burning for the Lord. You see, every strike of pain against your spirit was shaping something eternal. Every betrayal was chiseling away what could not remain. And when the world tried to bury you, heaven whispered, "Watch this one rise again." Do not think lightly of your struggle. Chosen one. What crushed others only refined you. And that is why the angels paused, because your life is not an accident. It is a living testimony. You have felt invisible. You have wondered why the battle was so hard. But do you not see, heaven's silence was never absence. It was the test of a warrior, the making of a crown bearer. God trusted you with this weight because he knew what the angels already saw. You would not break. You would stand, and by standing, you terrify the darkness. The word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 17, "The righteous cry, the Lord hears. He delivers them from all troubles." This is the heritage you carry, not because you earned it, but because you are chosen. The angels saw the blows of the enemy, yet they also saw your spirit refuse to bow. And now, heaven marks you as one who cannot be stopped. Chosen one. You are reading this not by coincidence, but by divine intervention. Right here, right now, is a holy interruption. Do not scroll past this moment. Receive it. For heaven has paused not only to witness your struggle, but to confirm your victory. I call you to rise in faith, to declare before men and angels alike that you are chosen, and you will not shrink back. If this word burns in your spirit, then share it so others may rise too. Subscribe and stay connected. Because your journey is not yet finished, you are stepping into new dimensions of calling, and every word released here is a weapon in your hand. And now, beloved, seal this moment in the comments. Write the prophetic number that signifies your alignment with heaven's message, 777. It is the number of divine completion, the reminder that what God begins, he finishes. Chosen one. The weight of rejection has followed you like a shadow. You have walked into rooms and felt the sting of not being welcomed. You have given love only to be met with silence. You have offered loyalty and received betrayal in return. The angels saw this. They saw when you tried to explain yourself and no one understood. They saw when you stayed awake in the night, asking why you seemed to carry more than those around you. And they marveled, because while men discarded you, heaven set you apart. Rejection is painful, but rejection is also redirection. What looked like abandonment was really preservation. The places that shut their doors to you were never built to carry the anointing you hold. The relationships that collapsed under pressure could not have sustained the calling that rests on your shoulders. Though your heart ached, though loneliness pressed heavy, angels recorded every moment of it, because the weight of rejection was not punishment. It was proof that you were chosen for something beyond the ordinary. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 5, "Behold, among the nations, look and be amazed. I will work a work in your days. You will not believe it." Do you understand? Chosen one, even the pain you endured is part of a work so marvelous that if someone explained it to you in the middle of your tears, you would not have believed it. Your rejection became the soil in which God planted revelation. Your loneliness became the ground where heaven whispered your true identity. You thought rejection was the end of something, but the angels saw it as the beginning of your unveiling. When people pushed you away, they unknowingly pushed you closer to the throne. When voices silenced you, heaven amplified your cry. The angels were shocked, not by the cruelty of men, but by the strength with which you continued to love, continued to give, continued to stand. They saw you carry pain without letting bitterness destroy your heart. They saw you bless even those who cursed you. And in that, they saw a reflection of the very heart of God. The world thinks rejection disqualifies, but in heaven's eyes, rejection often proves qualification. For the Lord himself was despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. And you, chosen one, are walking in his footsteps. The angels stood in awe, not because you suffered, but because you suffered and did not let go of your faith. Rejection carved out a deeper hunger for God inside of you. It broke you free from counterfeit attachments. It drove you into secret places of prayer that others never visited. And while others laughed, while others judged, the heavens recorded it all. The weight of rejection pressed down on you, but out of that pressure rose a fragrance of faith so pure, so rare, that even angels leaned close in wonder. So do not despise this season of rejection. It was never to diminish you, it was to distinguish you. The tables are turning, and the same people who doubted you will witness the glory rising upon you. The ones who mocked will be silenced by the evidence of God's hand on your life. But even before that day, heaven has already confirmed your place. Angels have already written your name among those who overcame. Your story does not end with rejection. It begins there, but it does not remain there. For every no you faced on earth, there is a greater yes echoing in eternity. And though it hurt, though it cut deep, remember this: the angels saw, and heaven never forgot. Chosen one, your tears have not been wasted. Every time you wept in silence, thinking no one could see, heaven bore witness. Angels leaned close, astonished that from your brokenness came a fire, not ashes. What you released through tears became fuel for the heavenly flame within you. People saw weakness, but angels saw warfare. They saw the kind of cry that shakes the unseen realm, the kind of cry that tells darkness, "You may strike me, but I will not bow." And do not underestimate your tears. They are not signs of defeat. They are offerings upon the altar of heaven. In the hidden place, when you cried out in anguish, something eternal was birthed. The angels were shocked, not because you were in pain, but because your spirit refused to collapse under it. Your cries became a language that resonated in eternity. You may not have heard a response at once, but the sound of your tears stirred heaven. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "Thou tellest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? Yes." Chosen one, every tear has been kept. None of it slipped through the cracks of heaven's attention. Your pain is not forgotten. Your sorrow not ignored. Each drop is recorded in the book of remembrance, a testimony that you carried the weight and still look toward God. The angels marveled at this because they know what it means. Your tears became the evidence of your loyalty to heaven's call. And look at what your tears have done. They softened your heart when bitterness could have hardened it. They watered the seeds of compassion, making you a vessel who can carry healing to others. They cleansed you, shaping a purity that darkness cannot counterfeit. The angels saw you cry, and they knew this one will rise with a fire that no storm can quench. Your struggle was never meaningless. It is the reason your prayers carry such weight, the reason your words pierce through despair and bring hope, because you have cried. You understand pain, because you have wept. You carry healing. This is why angels are astonished that what was meant to drown you only deepened your anointing. And now, beloved, I ask you to declare this truth with your own hand. Write in the comments, "I hear you." Do not dismiss this act as something small. It is prophetic. By writing it, you are testifying before men, angels, and the unseen realm that you recognize the voice of God speaking into your spirit. You are saying, "I am not blind to this moment. I hear the confirmation. I accept the assignment." This simple declaration seals the message in your heart. Think of it as planting a seed in the soil of your future. With those 3 words, you are declaring that your tears will no longer be wasted, that what was once sorrow is now fuel, that you will not remain silent in your pain, but will rise with fire in your spirit. And heaven responds to faith, even when it comes clothed in simplicity. So, chosen one, remember, what the angels saw was not just your suffering, it was the fire birthed in the middle of it. They were astonished because they knew the one who cries with faith will one day roar with victory. And that is your story. That is your destiny. Chosen one. You were never meant to blend in. The mark of heaven has always been upon you, even when you tried to hide it. From the beginning, angels recognized the seal of distinction written over your life, while others chased after acceptance. You were being shaped for assignment. You felt the weight of being different. You noticed how you could never quite fit into the patterns of the world, and it frustrated you. But the truth is, your difference was not a curse, it was the evidence of your calling. The world often misunderstands what it cannot explain. People looked at you and saw strangeness, but angels looked and saw destiny, your choices, your convictions, the quiet strength within you. It all revealed the fingerprint of heaven. You may have questioned yourself, wondered why you couldn't simply go along with everyone else. But that resistance within you was not rebellion. It was heaven's protection, pulling you away from paths that would have dimmed your light. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17, "Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you." Separation is never easy. It costs something. You lost friends. You lost opportunities. At times, You even lost your own peace because you wrestled with the loneliness that came with standing apart. But heaven was watching. Angels saw that while others compromised, you stood firm. While others chose the easy road, you walked the narrow one. They saw how much it hurt you, but they also saw how your pain became proof of obedience. Your distinction is not arrogance, it is consecration. You are marked for a purpose beyond what you imagined. That is why rejection stung so deeply. It was never just people turning away. It was God's way of shifting you into alignment with your true assignment. The angels did not look at your difference as a flaw. They saw it as heaven's strategy. They understood that those who are chosen cannot walk where the crowd walks, cannot drink from every cup, cannot dance to every song. The mark on your life is invisible to men, but undeniable to the unseen realm. This is why darkness has always targeted you. This is why battles found you, even when you were not looking for them. The enemy recognized your difference before you did. And yet, every time he tried to crush you, heaven stepped in. Angels shielded you because they knew you were carrying something that could not be extinguished. Think of your life. Chosen one. The times you wondered why you couldn't settle for less. Why something inside you kept stirring when you tried to live like everyone else. That stirring was heaven reminding you, you are marked. You are sealed. You are chosen. The angels never doubted it, even when you did. And though it has been lonely, though it has been heavy, your difference is about to reveal its purpose. What once made you feel excluded will now set you apart as a voice, a light, a living testimony. Angels already see it. They saw it in your struggle, in your tears, in your quiet obedience. And soon, the world will see it too. Chosen one. The battles you fought in secret were never hidden from heaven. You endured struggles with no applause, no audience, no encouragement. You carried weights that would have broken others, and you did it quietly. Angels looked on, astonished, because what you did without recognition shook the unseen realms louder than the celebrations of kings. Every unseen victory was louder in heaven than the loudest cheers on earth. You prayed when you could have cursed. You forgave when revenge would have been easier. You stood your ground when walking away would have brought less pain. These battles, though hidden, are the ones heaven values most. For it is in the secret place where character is forged, where faith is proven, and where crowns are formed. The angels marveled, not because you won before men's eyes, but because you won when no one was looking. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 3, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Nothing escaped his notice. Chosen one. Every silent yes you gave to God in the middle of temptation, every time you chose love over hate, every moment you fought against despair, all of it was seen. All of it was recorded. And while the world ignored your victories, heaven celebrated them. This is why you are different. You were not called to impress people. You were called to move heaven, and heaven has already been moved by your perseverance. The angels witnessed how you turned private battles into eternal testimonies. And now, your hidden faithfulness is preparing to be revealed in the open. But understand this, your story is not just for you. Others need to hear it. Others need to know that silent victories are still victories. That unseen faith is still faith. There are people waiting in darkness who need the light that shines through your testimony. And when you share what God has done, you extend that light to them. This is why I ask you, sincerely, from a place of purpose, to help spread this message. If it resonates in your spirit, if you feel the confirmation stirring inside you, then like this message, so it can rise above the noise. Share it with those who are in need of hope, because what is ordinary to you may be life-saving to someone else. And subscribe, not just as an action, but as a way of staying connected to the flow of these words that heaven is releasing for the chosen ones. By doing so, you are choosing to remain aligned with a voice that continues to remind you of who you are and whose you are. This is not about numbers, not about building fame. It is about building faith. Every click, every share, every act of spreading light is a ripple that pushes back against darkness. And when you do it, you are not just helping this message reach further. You are stepping into your own assignment as a carrier of light, chosen one. Never underestimate the impact of your hidden battles. They may not have been celebrated by men, but heaven through celebrations you could not see. And the same God who saw you win in private is about to honor you in public. The angels saw it. They marveled. And now it is your time to walk in the reward of the battles you thought no one noticed. Chosen one. There was a night when the angels whispered your name. You thought you were abandoned. You thought your prayers dissolved into the silence. But in the unseen, heaven leaned close. You were weary, your body drained, your spirit trembling. And yet the angels whispered, "Do not give up. You belong to the Lord. You are chosen." That night, though you heard nothing with your ears, your soul caught a flicker of strength that kept you breathing. It was not coincidence, it was intervention. The heavens are not far from your pain. The angels are not indifferent to your cries. They are messengers. And when they whispered your name, it was not empty sound, it was identity. They reminded you of what earth had tried to make you forget. Even when your own heart doubted, heaven still called you chosen. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 14, "Are they not all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them, who shall be heirs of salvation?" Yes, chosen one. Angels have been sent to minister to you, not because you are weak, but because you are destined. You are an heir of salvation, marked for eternal inheritance. They minister not out of pity, but out of reverence for the role you carry in the unfolding story of heaven. That night, when you thought you were alone, the angels gathered near, shocked at the strength of your endurance. They whispered your name as a reminder. You are not forgotten. And it is true, isn't it? Somehow, in your darkest nights, strength appeared. Somehow, though you nearly broke, you did not collapse. That somehow was not random. It was heaven's touch. It was the whisper of angels reminding your spirit that you still had purpose. Think back to the moments you thought you could not endure another day, yet you did. Think of the nights you thought you would never feel peace again, yet you woke up to a new morning. This is the mystery the angels saw, a fragile human frame carrying unshakable faith. They marveled because they knew it was not natural, it was supernatural. And now, chosen one, I invite you to seal this truth in a simple act of faith. Write in the comments the prophetic number 444. This number represents the nearness of heaven, the alignment of God's order in your life. and the confirmation that you are surrounded. Do not take this lightly. Writing 444 is not just a number, it is an act of agreement. It is you saying, I acknowledge that heaven whispers my name. I recognize that I am not abandoned. I accept that I am aligned with divine order. It is prophetic because it calls your spirit into harmony with what heaven already sees about you. When you write it, you declare before angels and before the unseen world that you know you are not forgotten. You declare that you understand your identity cannot be erased by loneliness or crushed by silence. It is written in eternity, confirmed by whispers, sealed by blood. Angels pause at these declarations, for they are the evidence that a chosen one has stood firm, even in the valley of shadows. So do not despise your silent nights. Beloved, they were not wasted. They became holy ground where heaven whispered truth over your weary soul, and those whispers, though quiet, carried the power of eternity. They carried you then, and they are carrying you now. Chosen one. Every wound you carry tells a story. They are not just reminders of pain, they are prophetic gateways. The scars on your heart, the bruises on your soul, the hidden cuts no one else can see. These have become doors that lead you into greater authority. You once wished they would disappear, that your life could be untouched, perfect, unbroken. But heaven saw differently. The angels looked at your wounds and saw not shame, but power. You were pierced, boot, not destroyed. You were betrayed, but not abandoned. And each wound carved a place in you where heaven could pour oil. Every hurt that threatened to close you off actually widened the capacity of your spirit. Pain expanded you, not diminished you. The angels marveled because they know those who carry wounds with faith are entrusted with healing for nations. The prophet Isaiah speaks in chapter 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. This is your mantle. Chosen one. You were broken, so you could bind the brokenhearted. You were captive, so you could declare freedom. You were wounded, so you could walk in authority over wounds. Heaven did not waste your suffering. It transformed it into a commission. The world looks at scars as weakness, but angels see them as proof of survival. They looked upon your pain and realized, you are becoming dangerous to darkness. For every wound that did not destroy you became an entry point for light. What the enemy meant as a hole, God filled as a gateway. Your story carries power precisely because of what you endured. Think of the times you were struck and thought it was the end. Yet here you are. That survival alone is testimony, but more than survival. There is transformation. Your wounds have become wisdom. Your pain has become prophecy. You understand depths others cannot. And that understanding will become a key for those still trapped in the same darkness you escaped. The angels were astonished, not because you were wounded, but because you did not let your wounds define you. You bore them, but you refused to bow to them. And now they carry you into a new level of authority. Heaven entrusts healing to those who have been healed, authority to those who have endured, voice to those who have been silenced. And you, chosen one, carry all three. Your wounds are not accidents. They are maps. Each scar points to a battle. Each battle points to a victory, and each victory points to a crown. The pain you endured has carved channels for compassion, channels for strength, channels for anointing. The enemy thought to destroy you with them, but instead, they became holy markers of your journey into destiny. So walk unashamed. Do not cover what God has made glorious. Your wounds testify that you have walked through the fire and were not consumed. The angels saw your struggle and were shocked, not by the violence of the battle, but by the glory that was produced in you because of it. And that glory, though birthed in wounds, is unshakable. Chosen one. You carry doors within you now. What once bled now blesses. What once ached now anoints. And every wound has become an opening through which heaven touches earth. That is why you were chosen. And that is why angels stand in awe. Chosen one. There was a moment when everyone thought you had fallen. They looked at your silence and assumed defeat. They saw your tears and labeled them weakness. They misread your pause as the end of your story. But the angels saw differently. When others thought you had been buried, heaven knew you were being planted. When others whispered that you had lost, the angels saw you rising against impossible odds. You may not even realize how powerful it was. The way you stood. You were weary, your strength nearly gone. Yet something inside you refused to surrender. The angels marveled, for they knew that this was no ordinary strength. It was the kind of endurance that comes not from flesh, but from the Spirit of God. And though the enemy struck you with blow after blow, you rose again, carrying a resolve that could not be explained by human willpower alone. The Apostle Paul writes in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 9, persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed. That is the truth of your life. You have been pressed. You have been struck, but never abandoned. You have been knocked to the ground, but you have never been destroyed. And the angels saw this with astonishment. They witnessed the enemy throw everything at you: disappointment, betrayal, shame, rejection, and yet you rose again. You stood up even when your knees were trembling. You kept walking even when your heart was breaking. This rising is what separates you. Anyone can stand when celebrated, but only the chosen rise when forgotten. Only the marked ones get back up when no one is watching, when no hand is reaching to help. And you did. That is why the angels are in awe of your story. You embody the resilience of heaven itself. Remember, beloved, when others saw weakness, heaven saw warfare. Every time you stood back up, you declared war on darkness. Your resilience became a prophetic act, announcing to the unseen world that you will not be broken, that you belong to the Lord. And even in moments when you doubted yourself, heaven did not doubt you. The angels knew, this one will rise again. Consider the image of a seed buried in the ground. To human eyes, it looks like death, like burial. But in heaven's perspective, it is only the beginning of new life. That is how your story looks from above. What others thought was burial was actually planting, and now life is springing forth from the very place of your pain. The angels saw you rise with scars, but they also saw you rise with strength. They saw you walk through the valley and still carry faith. They saw you take the blows and still lift your face toward heaven. This is what shocks them, not that you suffered, but that you suffered and still remained faithful. And so, Chosen one, let this truth settle in your heart. Your rising is not ordinary. It carries eternal weight. It carries testimony for generations. And the angels, those watchers of destiny, have witnessed it all. They know the price you paid, and they know the glory that awaits. You may have been cast down, but you were never destroyed. You may have been crushed, but you were never abandoned. You are the living proof of heaven's strength in human weakness, and the angels, who stood in awe of your struggle, now stand in awe of your resilience. Chosen one, your very presence unsettles the powers of darkness. You may not always feel strong. You may not always feel radiant. Yet your light shines in ways you cannot measure. Even in your weakness, there is a glow that cannot be hidden, a flame that terrifies the shadows. The angels saw it. They saw how every time darkness pressed in, your spirit refused to extinguish. You carry within you a fire that was lit by heaven, and no storm, not trial, no opposition has been able to put it out. Your life itself is warfare. You may not realize it, but every time you step into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Darkness trembles. Because you are not walking alone, you carry the presence of the Lord. The angels marvel at this, because they understand the power of light in a world so saturated with shadow. They know what your spirit carries, and they know why the enemy fears you. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong, be courageous, fear not, nor be afraid. The Lord your God goes with you. He will not forsake you. That is your reality. You are the living witness of this truth. The light in you shines, and no matter how much darkness surrounds, it cannot overcome you. The angels saw moments when the enemy tried to drown you in despair, when shadows tried to suffocate your joy, when confusion tried to blind you, yet still, your light kept shining. That light is not your own. It is heaven's deposit within you. This is why you faced so much opposition. The darkness does not waste energy on the indifferent. It fights the chosen. Every battle you endured was not proof of weakness, but proof of light. If there had been nothing valuable inside of you, the enemy would not have fought so hard. But the angels saw what you carried, and they were astonished. Even after blow upon blow, your light grew brighter. And now, I call you to declare it. Seal this truth not only in your heart, but with your own words. Write in the comments, I choose my crown. Do not dismiss this as small. When you type it, you are testifying in the spirit realm. You are proclaiming that your light is not temporary. Your authority is not accidental, and your destiny cannot be stolen. This declaration matters because it shifts your focus from survival to royalty, from barely holding on to standing in authority. You are not just enduring, you are chosen to reign. The angels saw the resilience in your light, and now heaven calls you to claim the crown that has been forged in the fire of your trials. Writing, I choose my crown, is you stepping into alignment with that reality. Think of it like lifting a banner in battle. A simple phrase becomes a sword in your hand. It announces to darkness, I am not backing down. It announces to heaven, I accept my inheritance. And it announces to your own heart, I will walk in the authority given to me, no matter the cost. So let it be known. Chosen one, your light terrifies the darkness. The angels saw it. The enemy fears it, and the world is about to witness it. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to shine, even when weary, even when broken, even when misunderstood. That is why you are chosen one. There is a scroll in heaven with your name written upon it. The angels have seen it opened, and they understand something that you are only beginning to realize. Your suffering has never been in vain. Every battle you fought, every tear you shed, every rejection you endured has been woven into the record of your destiny. The heavens keep books, and those books testify of your journey, not just your struggles, but your faithfulness in the middle of them. The prophet Daniel spoke of these scrolls in chapter 7, verse 10. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. This means your story is not lost, not forgotten, not buried beneath the dust of time. Your name is inscribed in the narrative of heaven, and your chapters are still unfolding. The angels saw the scroll of your destiny revealed, and they marveled, because they understood what you could not see in your darkest nights, that nothing has been wasted. Even what felt like loss has been written as preparation. Even what felt like delay has been inscribed as protection. There are details of your life that make no sense to you, detours that broke your heart, endings that seemed premature. But on the scroll, it is all aligned. What looked like chaos is actually symmetry. What looked like death is actually seed. And the angels, who glimpsed the wisdom of God's records, were astonished at how your pain became prophecy. Your scars became sentences of power. Your wounds became words written in gold. Chosen one, do you understand what this means? That your destiny is not fragile. It cannot be erased by the opinions of people. It cannot be destroyed by the failures of your past. It cannot even be cancelled by the mistakes you regret, because the scroll is written not with ink, but with the eternal hand of God Himself. And what He writes, no power can blot out. This is why the angels marveled. They saw how suffering was being converted into strength on your scroll. They saw how moments of despair were translated into declarations of hope. They saw how even silence was marked as strategy, and they worshipped, because only heaven could turn such ashes into glory. Now, I speak to you sincerely, with the weight of this truth in my spirit. Do not keep this revelation to yourself. If this word confirms what you know deep inside, then honor it by helping it reach others who need the same confirmation. Like this message, not as a casual click, but as a way of saying, I receive this truth. Share it with someone who is close to giving up, because your obedience could be the reason another chosen one rises again. And subscribe, not just for yourself, but to remain connected to the stream of heaven's voice that is flowing through these messages. Staying connected ensures that when your spirit begins to waver, you will hear reminders of who you are. Reminders of what the angels already saw in you. This is not about chasing attention, it is about spreading light. It is about joining heaven's work in reminding the chosen ones of their true identity. And every act of alignment, every act of agreement, strengthens the sound of this message across the earth. So, beloved, walk with courage. The scroll of destiny is open, and it declares your victory. The angels saw it. Heaven confirmed it. And no matter what battles still remain, your end has already been written in glory. Chosen one. One of the hardest seasons of your journey has been the silence of God. You prayed and felt no answer. You waited and saw no sign. You sought and were met with stillness. That silence weighed heavier on you than rejection, heavier than pain. You wondered if you had been forgotten, if your prayers had been lost somewhere between heaven and earth. But the angels knew better. They saw that this silence was not absence, it was training. The test of silence is a furnace of the soul. In the noise of blessing, faith can be shallow. In the noise of applause, loyalty can be easy. But in silence, faith is tested. In silence, loyalty is proven. The angels saw you walk through this furnace, stripped of answers, holding only to trust. They marveled because they knew those who endure silence come out refined as gold. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verse 29, "Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed." That is you, chosen one. You believed even when you did not see. You held on even when you felt nothing. You continued even when every part of you screamed to give up. And this is why heaven counts you blessed. The angels were astonished because you carried faith without evidence, loyalty without reward, endurance without explanation. That kind of faith is rare. That kind of faith is terrifying to darkness. Consider this: silence is never wasted. It builds muscles unseen. It strengthens foundations that applause could never secure. Silence makes you rely on the presence of God rather than the proof of signs. The angels understood this truth, and they knew your silence was building a fortress inside you that no storm could shake. In the silence, you learned to listen differently. You discovered whispers you would have missed in the noise. You noticed details in Scripture you would have overlooked if everything was loud. Your spirit became attuned to the subtle movements of God, and that sensitivity is priceless. It is what sets the chosen apart from the crowd. The angels did not pity you in your silence. They honored you. They saw how you refused to fill the stillness with distractions, how you waited with patience, how you chose trust when there were no signs to hold. To heaven, this was worship. To the unseen realm, this was warfare. And now, beloved, understand this: silence does not last forever. It has a purpose, and when that purpose is complete, the silence breaks. What follows is clarity sharper than you have known, direction stronger than you imagined, and intimacy deeper than you thought possible. You are not being punished in the silence, you are being prepared. When God seems hidden, He is working. When heaven seems quiet, it is writing. When angels seem still, they are watching the endurance of a chosen one who has been trusted with divine stillness. And they are amazed, because your faith in silence has proven unshakable. So hold your head high. Do not despise the quiet, for it has refined you. The angels saw your endurance and were shocked not by the silence itself, but by your strength in it. You have passed the test that few endure, and for this reason, heaven has marked you with honor, chosen one. The path you walk is not wide, it is narrow. The angels saw it clearly, while crowds chose comfort. You were led into challenge, while many followed ease. You were guided into fire, and though it cost you friends, opportunities, and even peace at times, heaven marveled because you kept walking. The chosen path has always been narrow, not because God wishes to limit you, but because He is shaping you into something rare. This narrowness explains your loneliness, It explains why you could not remain where others remained. It explains why shortcuts never worked for you. The angels were astonished not at your struggle, but at your refusal to turn back. You carried on when the road was steep. You pressed forward when your body was weary. And you did so because deep within, your spirit recognized you were walking in destiny. There were seasons when you questioned why your life could not look like theirs, simpler, easier, full of shortcuts that seemed to work. But heaven's plan was different for you. The angels saw that if you walked the wide path, your flame would dim. They marveled as you discovered that narrowness was the shield protecting your destiny. The narrow way often stripped you of distractions. While others were celebrating quick rewards, you were being refined. Heaven's host understood the deeper mystery. You were not being deprived. You were being prepared. Every loss was an exchange. Every closing door was protection. Every lonely night was a classroom where your spirit was trained for authority. And when you thought you would break, when the pressure of the narrow path felt unbearable, angels surrounded you. They whispered courage, reminding your soul that the end of the path is not sorrow but life, what you call limitation. Heaven calls consecration, what feels like loneliness. Heaven calls intimacy, and what seems small now will expand into eternal reward. The Apostle Matthew records in his Gospel, chapter 7, verse 14, "Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Few find it." Chosen one. That is why the angels marveled at you. They saw you discover what so many never will. They saw you choose obedience when compromise was easier. They saw you choose faith when sight was absent. They saw you carry a cross rather than chase crowns of men. And this choice, repeated again and again, has marked you with heaven's seal. Do not despise the narrowness of your path. What feels restrictive is actually protection. What feels limiting is actually preserving. The narrow road removes distractions, purges attachments, and shapes focus. The angels witnessed your steps, and they knew every sacrifice is carving out a greater glory. Every denial of the world is enlarging your place in eternity. And now, I invite you to mark this moment with a prophetic act. Write in the comments, 888. This number carries the sound of new beginnings and resurrection. By writing it, you declare that though your path is narrow, it is also leading you into life, into renewal, into the fullness of what God has written for you. Do not see it as digits alone. It is a banner. It is you saying, "I accept the narrow road. I embrace the cost. I step into the newness heaven is preparing for me." It is a witness before angels and before your own soul that you choose life. Even when it comes through the narrow way, the angels pause at such declarations. They know the power of agreement. They saw you walk the path. Now they watch you affirm it with your own words. And this alignment strengthens you, because your tongue carries the power of life and death. What you declare shapes your journey. So, beloved, though the road feels lonely, it is not empty. You walk with heaven at your side. You walk with angels in awe. You walk with the Spirit of God leading every step. And one day, what was narrow will open into endless expanse. And you will see that every sacrifice, every tear, every lonely mile was worth it. Chosen one, Everything in your life has been shaken. The foundations you thought were secure crumbled beneath your feet. Relationships you leaned on dissolved. Opportunities you trusted vanished. Even the structures inside your heart, the expectations, the dreams, the plans were torn down. And though it felt like destruction, the angels understood the truth. Shaking does not come to ruin the chosen. It comes to reveal what cannot be moved. The heavens watched as everything temporary was stripped away. They saw how your hands were emptied, how your heart was broken, how your faith was tested. They saw how fear tried to take root, how doubt whispered that nothing remained. Yet the angels also saw something deeper. Under the rubble, there was a foundation that did not break. Beneath the shaking, there was a strength that could not be touched. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 27, "And this word, yet once more, signifieth the removing of those things that are shaken, as of things that are made, that those things which cannot be shaken may remain." The angels marveled at this truth in your life. While others saw only collapse, they saw what remained. They knew that what is eternal cannot be destroyed. They understood that the shaking was necessary not to harm you, but to purify you. The idols had to fall. The false supports had to collapse. The illusions had to fade, so that your true strength could stand clear and undeniable. Every trial that shook you revealed something about you. When betrayal shook you, loyalty remained. When poverty shook you, generosity remained. When despair shook you, faith remained. The angels stood in awe, because each shaking became a testimony that your identity was anchored deeper than circumstance. It was never about what was lost. It was always about what survived. The shaking was heaven's way of proving what you carry cannot be taken. Your destiny is not fragile. Your calling is not conditional. Your anointing is not dependent on stability. You are chosen, and chosen ones endure, shaking only to stand stronger. Think of gold placed in fire. To human eyes, it seems the fire is destroying it. But to heaven's eyes, the fire is refining it. This is your story. The shaking refined you. It burned away pride, selfishness, fear, and left you standing in purity, humility, and courage. The angels looked at you and marveled, because what tried to break you only proved you unbreakable. They saw you stagger. Yes, they saw you wounded. Yes, but they also saw you rise again and again, carrying scars that told stories of survival, carrying eyes that reflected heaven's strength. The shaking also aligned you. Paths that once distracted you are gone. Voices that once confused you have been silenced. Attachments that drained you have been severed. And though the process hurt, it cleared the way for you to walk in clarity. The angels celebrated this, because they knew the chosen must be refined before being revealed. Do not despise the shaking. Beloved, it was not sent to destroy you, but to prepare you. It was the mercy of God that refused to let you build your life on sand. It was the love of God that tore down what could not last, so that your foundation would be eternal. And now you stand, scarred but stronger, emptied but filled with what matters, shaken but unshakable. This is why the angels marveled. They saw you endure what others could not, and they knew, this one carries the mark of eternity. Chosen one. The crown that rests upon your destiny has not been made of ease or luxury. It has been forged in fire. Every trial, every heartbreak, every crushing season has added weight to that crown. The angels saw this, and they marveled, because they know that true authority is never cheap. It is bought with tears, with endurance, with scars. When you thought the fire would consume you, it was actually shaping you. When you felt the heat pressing against your soul, heaven was molding your character. The crown upon your life was not placed lightly. It was formed in the furnace of affliction, and though the flames burned, they did not destroy. Instead, they revealed gold within you that the world could not have seen otherwise. The prophet Zechariah declared in chapter 13, verse 9, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God." This is your story. The fire has not been your end, it has been your beginning. You walked through it, not around it. And the angels watched in awe as your faith grew stronger in the very place you thought you would break. Every time you whispered a prayer in the middle of the flames, heaven leaned closer. Every time you chose faith over fear, another jewel was added to your crown. Understand this, beloved, crowns are not given in comfort. They are formed in battle. They are not handed out casually. They are earned through endurance. Your crown carries weight because your trials carried weight. Your authority has depth because your pain had depth. And the angels celebrate this because they know what few on earth understand, that suffering in the hands of God is never wasted. The fire stripped away what could not remain. It burned away false attachments, shallow desires, and fragile identities, and in their place, it revealed a strength that does not bow, a purity that does not fade, a courage that does not retreat. The angels were astonished, not because the fire was hot, but because you walked through it with faith still alive. Think of the crown now forming upon your life. It is not ordinary metal, it is refined. It is not decoration, it is testimony. Every gem tells a story of endurance. Every engraving speaks of a battle won. Every shimmer reflects the glory of God carried in human frailty. The angels see it clearly already, though you may not yet. And they marvel, because they know the day is coming when what has been invisible will be revealed. Your crown is not for vanity. It is for assignment. Authority is entrusted to those who endured fire without losing their faith. Influence is given to those who carried weight without surrendering. You have been trusted with trials, and now you will be trusted with victory. The angels saw how much it cost you, and they know how heavy your crown will be. Do not resent the fire anymore. It has been your greatest teacher, your fiercest ally. It broke you only to build you stronger. It burned you only to purify. And now you rise, not empty-handed, but crowned with glory. The crown forged in fire is upon you, and the angels stand in awe of its brilliance. Chosen one, as you stand at the threshold of new doors, you are not standing alone. The angels of God surround you. They are stationed like flames of fire, guarding your path, ensuring that no weapon prospering in secret can strike you unaware. You are stepping into a new season, and the heavens have already assigned protection for every step you will take. The psalmist declares in the writings of David, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." This has been your unseen reality. You wondered how you survived, what should have ended you. You questioned why certain accidents missed you, why betrayals failed to destroy you, why attacks of the enemy fizzled out before they could land. The answer is here. Angels were on assignment. They have been guarding you, not only from what you saw, but also from what you never knew was planned against you. The angels stand now at the threshold of your destiny because new doors are opening. These doors are not like those of the past. They are not doors that can be shut by men. They are not opportunities that fade with time. They are eternal assignments. Doors that lead you into the very core of your calling. The angels stand because they know where you are going. Resistance will rise, but they also know heaven's protection has already been written into your journey. You may not see them, but every step you take in obedience summons angelic movement. Each prayer you whisper, each act of faith you make, each word of truth you speak, it activates the army of heaven. The angels saw your struggles, and they were shocked, not only at your endurance, but at the fact that you never realized how much of their help you already had. They fought unseen battles while you slept. They shielded you from blows you never knew were aimed at you. And now, as you prepare to walk into the fullness of your calling, I speak to you with sincerity. Do not walk this journey alone. Stay connected to the flow of heaven's voice. Like this message, not as a ritual, but as a testimony that you agree with what heaven has already spoken over you. Share it. Because what protects you may also protect someone else when they hear it. And subscribe, not as a routine click, but as a way to remain aligned with ongoing words that keep your spirit sharp and your steps guarded. I ask you to leave your mark here in the comments. Do not underestimate the power of your words. Write a simple sentence, short but prophetic. I will obey. This is more than text. It is a declaration to heaven that you will walk through the doors set before you. A declaration to angels that you welcome their partnership. And a declaration to darkness that no intimidation can stop you. Your obedience is the key that unlocks what has been waiting. The angels are ready. The doors are prepared. And the season is shifting. But obedience is what allows you to step across the threshold without fear. When you write it, you are aligning yourself with this truth, that your next chapter will not be delayed by hesitation, but accelerated by faith. Chosen one. The angels are not just watching anymore. They are guarding, guiding, and preparing the way. You are stepping into a new dimension of purpose, and all of heaven is invested in your journey. Let your heart be steady, for you are surrounded. Chosen one. What was once hidden beneath layers of suffering is now beginning to shine. The unveiling of glory has come. You carried pain like a cloak, walking through seasons where no one understood the weight on your shoulders. Yet in those very seasons, heaven was weaving something radiant inside you. What the world saw as brokenness, the angels saw as the preparation for revelation. The unveiling does not happen suddenly. It is the fruit of endurance. The angels watched every hidden battle, every unseen choice of obedience, every tear that fell in silence. They were shocked at your resilience. And they knew there would come a day when the light forged in darkness could no longer remain hidden. That day is here. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, "For I reckon the sufferings of this time are not worthy, compared with the glory to be revealed in us." This truth defines your journey. The sufferings have been real deep, painful, and often lonely. But the glory that emerges from them outweighs them all. The angels marveled because they saw glimpses of this glory long before you could. They knew that every wound would one day shine like a jewel. Every scar would reflect light. Every hardship would echo eternity. What is this glory? You ask. It is not just favor before men, though that may come. It is not merely blessings or recognition. The true glory is the presence of God radiating through your life. The evidence of heaven shining in a human vessel. It is the weight of divine authority resting upon one who has been proven faithful. It is light piercing through the cracks of your story, so that others may see the God who never abandoned you. The unveiling has a purpose beyond you. Your glory is not for display, it is for impact. The angels understand this. They know that your story will draw others out of despair. The shine of your life will not point to you, but to the one who carried you through the fire. This is why your suffering could not be wasted. It was never just about your survival. It was about the testimony that would flow through you. Think of it this way. A diamond is formed in hidden pressure, far beneath the surface. It is invisible for years, shaped in silence, until one day it is uncovered and its brilliance shocks all who see it. That is what the angels see in you. Your unveiling is not manufactured. It is the natural result of pressure, endurance, and divine shaping. Do you remember the times you begged for the pain to end? When you thought nothing good could come of your story, the angels remember too. And now, as the first rays of glory begin to shine, they marvel because they know those very tears became the rain that watered this moment. Chosen one, walk with confidence. Do not shrink back as your glory is revealed. Do not apologize for the light that shines through you. You paid a price for this. You endured a process that few could survive, and heaven has deemed it time for what was hidden to be seen. The unveiling of glory is not about proving yourself to the world. It is about fulfilling heaven's design. You were always meant to be a vessel of light, a carrier of presence, a testimony of resilience. The angels saw it in your struggle, and now they marvel at the beauty breaking forth. Chosen one. The journey has brought you here to the final seal of your identity. Heaven has spoken. The angels have witnessed, and the verdict is unshakable. You are chosen, unstoppable, crowned, and sent. Every moment of struggle, every hidden battle, every lonely night has been woven into this truth. The angels saw your story from beginning to end, and what shocked them most was not your suffering, but your refusal to surrender in it. You have been marked by fire, refined through storms, shaped in silence, and carried through valleys. Yet you stand, and standing is your testimony to earth. You may look ordinary, but in heaven's record, your name carries the weight of victory. You are among the ones who endured what others could not, who rose when others stayed fallen, who shone when others were consumed by darkness. The Apostle Peter reminds us in his first letter, chapter 2, verse 9, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. This is the seal of the chosen. You are not common, not random, not forgotten. You are royal by calling, holy by consecration, and radiant by destiny. The angels witnessed how the enemy tried again and again to bury you, but every attempt only pressed you deeper into God's hand. They marveled, because now you carry a testimony that will outlast time itself. The final seal is not given lightly. It comes only after proving, only after shaking, only after enduring. And you, beloved, have endured. You have passed through rejection, through silence, through fire, through battles unseen, and still you lift your eyes toward heaven. That is why this seal rests upon you now. Understand this. Being chosen does not mean being spared from struggle. It means being sustained in it. Being chosen does not mean the absence of enemies. It means the presence of victory in their midst. Being chosen does not mean walking without scars. It means carrying scars that testify of survival and shine with glory. The angels stand now, not just as witnesses, but as heralds. They announce in the unseen that a chosen one has been confirmed, that the seal is unbreakable, that destiny is undeniable. Your life is no longer a question, it is a declaration. You are sent to walk in authority, to shine in darkness, to carry heaven into earth. Do not minimize what you carry. The seal upon you is not fragile. It is not dependent on moods or moments. It is eternal. It rests on you because heaven decreed it. And what heaven decrees, no power of hell can undo. The angels saw your struggle and were shocked. But now they see your crown and they rejoice. They understand that you have been entrusted with something weighty. The final seal is not just for you, it is for generations. Your endurance will ripple into the lives of others. Your faith will unlock faith in those around you. Your glory will point countless souls to the one who never left your side. Chosen one, walk forward. The final seal has been placed. You are unstoppable because your strength is not your own. You are unshakable because your foundation is eternal. You are crowned because your trials forged glory. You are sent because your testimony carries heaven's authority. This is the truth written in eternity, confirmed by angels, and alive in you. Chosen one, pause here and let these words sink into your spirit. 17 sections have unfolded, and with every word, heaven has whispered a reminder. You are chosen. Your struggles were never wasted. Your tears were never ignored. And your journey was never overlooked. The angels saw you. Heaven confirmed you. And now destiny calls you forward. Do not treat this moment as ordinary. This is a divine interruption, a holy appointment. You were meant to encounter these words, to be reminded of who you truly are. You are marked by heaven, sealed with purpose, and crowned through fire. The angels marveled at your endurance, but heaven rejoices now at your unveiling. And I speak to you sincerely. Do not walk away from this moment unchanged. If these words stirred your heart, if they awakened something deep inside you, then honor the encounter by taking a step of faith. Like this message as a declaration that you receive it. Share it with someone who needs hope, someone who feels forgotten, someone whose tears are still falling in silence. What has strengthened you may be the very lifeline they need. I invite you also to subscribe, not for ritual, not for routine, but to remain connected to the continual stream of heaven's voice. Every reminder that flows here is part of your journey, part of keeping your spirit aligned, part of ensuring you never forget who you are, God's chosen one. And finally, leave your mark below. Write in the comments a word, a phrase, even a single declaration that seals this truth in your life. Let it be your banner. Your testimony begins here, not tomorrow, not someday here. You are chosen. You are crowned. You are sent.